How's my light looking? We're looking all right? Yeah.
Looks good.
Yeah, so we're live now.
Beautiful.
We are
What's
live.
happening? What's happening?
I'm gonna put
Your
in.
boy Craig said he was gonna hop on. On the live,
I think
maybe,
so.
or no?
I don't know if he's gonna hop on. He'll probably catch the replay.
That's who we watched the Super Bowl with, right?
Yes.
That 1 year.
Yeah.
That was the
my
KC
guy.
San Francisco. Yeah.
Yeah, that's my guy from
Great
college.
Super
One
Bowl.
of my best
Great
friends.
Super Bowl.
I'm gonna pull up YouTube on my phone or something and just see if we're on.
Okay. All right. Good shit. And then I'm ready to roll when you are.
Bet that. What channel we got the game on today?
I think every week's Prime now.
Okay. Yeah, we are on there. I see myself looking at my phone. Hold on, I'm gonna put the
You
TV
know
on.
what? Oh, perfect. Right before we start, let me double check my 6 fantasy teams to make sure we're good.
Yeah, make sure you didn't. Just in case. Let me shut my
Got
bed.
Amon-Ra tonight. I got Laporta. Aaron Jones is going in a league or two. Amon-Ra again.
Aaron Jones. Yeah, sure.
Aaron Jones. I gotta play him.
No, I played him too. I played him too. I think he's gonna do.
I think the hamstring hopefully was minor. He looked in good spirits last week, so hopefully he's feeling good. He didn't play. He had 2 weeks off, I think. Yeah.
He had 2 weeks off. This is a short week, but like it's like the third week. You know what I mean? So he should be solid. I'm starting him where I have him.
All right, are we ready to roll?
Yeah, we're ready to roll.
You ready?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm just looking at my team real quick. Yeah, I'm good.
Good?
Yeah.
All right. Week 4, NFL season 2023. Podcast, maybe 5, maybe 6. I don't even know. Nick,
something like that.
How are you feeling, brother? Great week. Great week.
I'm feeling good, man. A lot of good matchups. We got a London. We've got a Big Ben matchup this week early. A lot of teams going.
Drake London in London.
That's huge.
Maybe he catches a pass this week. He doesn't, they don't like to throw it to him, but maybe. But before we get into it, we are brought to you. Diet Smoke took back over. Kiri towels. They are on sale. We'll give them a shout out because they need it. $15.99 for the best gym towel in the world on Amazon. Kiri, Kirei. But this week, it's about Diet Smoke. The best in the business. They've been with us from the beginning. Delta 8 THC, Delta 9 THC, pens, gummies, vapes, sodas. They've got absolutely everything. And like we always tell you, the best thing about them is it's light, but it's just right. It's not. I think they're saying it's not light. It's just right. But to all the people out there, you can get stuff that's light because I like the light stuff. It's fantastic, Nick.
Yeah, and they're coming out with a new product. I don't have it here to show you, but it's kind of like like the pouches that you can have with the Zins.
Oh, the Zyn pouches?
No, they came out with a spliff pouch that'll be out here soon. It's like a Delta 8 plus nicotine. No tobacco.
I'm gonna talk to our guy there. He's gonna send us some. You can try it out since I won't be dipping into that. But they sound fantastic. Code Nick and Bean, obviously an E on the end of Bean, but they're the best company in the business. And let's do a quick recap of our bets from last week, and how we did in fantasy. What were you, Nick? Give me your rundown.
Do we have to?
Just do it real quick. We can brush by it.
So I went 0-2 on bets. I had 2 teasers. That's what happens when you're depending on multiple outcomes in a game. You get a team like Dallas will, in an obvious win spot, just blow it. So it was disappointing last week. I don't know if I would take it back. I would bet those bets again. So it's whatever. Last week in fantasy, I went 1-3. So I no longer have any undefeated teams. I have 3 2-1 teams and 1 1-2 team.
Got it. So yeah, I was 1-2 in my bets, and really I would have had the perfect week if only the Jags could have beat the Texans. They absolutely killed me. I was hammering the live bet, and my entire week was ruined by the Jags. The Eagles, who we talked, if you saw the clip on Instagram, who I was telling you the Eagles were going to blow the Bucks out, they smashed the Bucks. That was an easy game. But yeah, the Jags absolutely killed me. On the other hand, my fantasy run, everything's going well in fantasy. I was 5-1 again. I've got 5 3-0 teams and 1 1-2 team. So it's been a good start to the fantasy year, unlike my last 2 seasons. So we're gonna keep that going, but we're gonna get the bets to go. I'm gonna tell you, I have a fantastic feeling this week. And also the biggest bet of the week, though, the one that everyone dumped all their money on, all our listeners, the prop god, our prop guy, he crushed it for us. Brandon Aubrey, easy money on the field goal. So, even when me and Nick aren't bringing you winners, we're bringing in people to bring you winners. Don't forget that. So,
You know what I'm saying?
let's hop in.
I'm
Go
getting
ahead.
texts. I'm getting texts from like my fantasy group. They're like, "Hey, man, the prop guy." Like they're loving it. They're shouting him out.
I know. And he'll be back, of course. He'll be here when we get to picks today. And I wanted to impact players. We've really been picking for the last year or so. We've been picking the top 3 impact players from the week before. Yeah. We're going to use this from now on more of like a recap segment. So it's going to be impact players, but we're not going to limit it to 3. We're going to touch on everything because there's too many, important things going on in the NFL. We can't just touch on 3. So let's start it off with, look at my hat, 50th anniversary, 1972 Dolphins hat. Nick's got the Florida Marlins hat. We are a Dolphins podcast. We're both born and raised here in South Florida. And that was the best game that we've seen in our lifetime. 70 points from our Miami Dolphins to 20 for the Broncos. It was an absolute shellacking.
Yeah, 70 points is like a college basketball game or something. Like I've never heard of somebody giving another team a 50 burger in NFL football. So that was awesome to watch. Miami has the highest passing yards per attempt at 10.6
Oh, hold on. Breaking news, Nick. Give us these stats. Nick has brought out the stats. He's locked in this week. Nick, are these points per yard, or is this a whole new thing?
I didn't do points per yard this week. We might get into that this season, though. I'm not going to disappoint the people. I'm going to get into some points per yard. But
okay.
So finally, I can't really get you with that many stats week 1 or week 2. You know what I mean? There's not the sample size is just too little. So now we're starting to see who these teams kind of are almost a quarter of the way through the season. Dolphins have the highest passing yards per attempt at 10.6 yards. The next closest team is 8.1. And that's the Chargers in San Fran. So what that's saying is each time Tua drop backs, and 10.6 is ridiculously high. I wouldn't be shocked to see that dip. If they can keep it at 10.6 per attempt all year, that's a Super Bowl team. Like I don't think any teams ever finish with a passing yard per attempt that high. And then the next point I want to make about Miami is they have the highest rushing yards per game at 188.3 and the most rushing touchdowns per game. So good luck catching up with our offense at this point.
It's going too well right now. But I will say this. It all comes back to one thing. And what we got to keep doing is keep protecting Tua. That's all it comes down to. Keep protecting him like we've been doing. Scheme it so he gets the ball out of his hands quickly like McDaniel's doing. And keep this up. But, again, one bad hit can change this. So we got to keep him on his feet. At the core of everything for our team, it's that. Our defense will get better. Vic Fangio will get these guys playing his system. We'll get Jalen Ramsey back. Jalen Phillips will get healthy. So it seems like it is sustainable. It doesn't seem like it was a fluky game or anything. Like our concepts are just a little bit ahead, it seems like, of everyone else. The motion McDaniel's using, it's just fantastic right now.
Yeah, I forget the stat I read. I didn't write this one down, but the amount of plays that McDaniel has a guy in motion, it's like some high percentage.
Yeah, it was almost 80%. Yeah, it was like 80-something%, and it's the most ever by far. I did see that as well.
I don't know if 70 points is sustainable, but the offense looks like it's sustainable.
Exactly. No, it was a perfect storm on Sunday. What a game. So Dolphins obviously got to be in that number one spot on impact players. Let's touch on a few other guys though. I want to give a shout out to CJ Stroud. Obviously, as I just told you, I was on the Jaguars side because I thought that they would take care of business at home. CJ was 20 of 30, 280 yards, 2 touchdowns, no turnovers. He looks, I'm a Bryce Young guy, and obviously 3 games is not a huge sample size, but CJ Stroud looks awesome. He looks great. He's
good.
really surprising people. Yeah, he looks really good.
But I honestly think that I think that's a Cinderella shoe going to drop or whatever they want to call it. The ball's going to drop. I don't know what they call it. Pause. But yeah, I think give him some more opportunities. He's going to start turning that ball over as a rookie. I don't know that I'm saying he's a bad quarterback, but I don't think he's going to continue this type of play.
Yeah, great game for them. Yeah, of course. Great game for CJ. Props to him. And it's not like they're surrounding him with crazy weapons or anything. He's got Nico Collins and a rookie in Tank Dell who are solid receivers, but it's not like, remember Justin Fields, they're like, oh, we got to get him a receiver or this or that. CJ's doing it with what he's got. So props to him. Next guy on impact players, he's really turned it around since that first week against the Jets, but Josh Allen was pretty flawless again against Washington. The stats aren't crazy because the defense was just like pick six, sacking in the red zone, and they had their way with them, but he had 215 yards, 50 yards rushing, a touchdown throwing, a touchdown rushing. The Bills smacked Washington 37-3. And obviously that will lead into the biggest matchup of the week, which we'll get into in a little bit later with the Dolphins and the Bills.
How do they not flex us to the Sunday night game? I need to call the league and get them to flex that.
I don't know how that works exactly, but yeah, I mean, who knows? But what's great? Actually, I'll save it for Dolphins at Bills, the preview. Next guy on the list, he may be a bad human being. Right. He may do some things we don't approve of, but Deshaun Watson, we got to give him some props here. He had a great game. 27 of 33. That's 6 incompletions on 33 passes, 289 yards, 2 touchdowns. They killed the Titans 27-3. Did you catch any of that game, Nick?
No, I didn't, but the Browns are looking good. Like if you look up the stats, they are at the top of the list on a lot of the stats and offense as of now.
Well, the defense looks great too. The defense, they look like that division is so tough that you never know who's going to win any week. But they look like they could be in line to possibly win that division. I would still lean Ravens, Bengals, and I'd put them closer to the Steelers. But you can't deny what they've done so far.
Yeah, there's a clip that I watched of the game, and the Tennessee was in their own red zone trying to drive it out, and Myles Garrett is running back and forth across the line, and Tennessee has their tight end and tackle trying to just follow him to see where he's going to stop and line up. They had to call a timeout because they couldn't track him. They didn't want to snap the ball and let him be loose.
Yeah, he's a monster. So Watson was next on impact players. The Minshew magic. He always does this. He comes in the game. They somehow beat the Ravens in overtime. He even steps out of the back of the end zone for a safety. But he was, I don't have the stats pulled up because I don't need the stats. It's just when Minshew starts in replacement for someone, there's always a game or two that he seems to win. So you got to give him you got to give him some credit where credit's due. So Gardner Minshew's got to be on this list. They beat the Ravens, who the Ravens look like a great team looking to go 3-0. So Minshew does it with, the Colts are not very good. We can both agree on that. But, he steps in for Anthony Richardson and he does what he does. He wins the game.
Yeah, Minshew looked good. He did enough to get it done. Maybe he's not a starter in the league, but he's probably one of the best backups in the league.
I couldn't agree more. Justin Herbert, 405 yards, 3 touchdowns. You could go listen to the podcast from last week, but what did I say? That the Chargers and the Vikings, it would come down to one possession and someone would try to lose that game. Fortunately for the Chargers, it was Kirk Cousins who didn't know how to spike the ball. They blow the game. Chargers win, but monster game. 400 plus yards and 3 scores is a monster game. What's your thoughts on Herbert now?
Same as they were before. He's a solid quarterback. He's no Tua Tagovailoa. But the thing that I hated the most about that game was freaking Mike Williams goes down with the ACL. That's heartbreaking.
He does.
He's got 2 other decent weapons with Palmer and Quentin Johnson. We'll see who steps up or if they can step up.
Yeah, and shout out to Keenan Allen, 18 catches, 200 plus yards, and he threw a touchdown. I do like this fantasy survivor thing where it's like a survivor where you pick games, but instead you pick a fantasy roster every week and you can only use the player once. Luckily, I had Keenan Allen last week. He got me through the week. What a game from him. And then to round out impact players, shout out to Josh Dobbs. I mean, they smacked the Cowboys. They ruined everyone's teaser, 10-point, 6-point, money line parlay. Josh Dobbs is showing that he'll probably in 10 years still be a backup in this league. And he's just a guy who can come in and be serviceable. And you saw like Micah Parsons was saying they got him on the bulletin board and they're going to throw darts at him all game. And then he posted a video after the game, like dodging shit. Like it was pretty funny. So Josh Dobbs probably will never make impact players again in his whole life. So we got to shout him out.
His big headed ass. He's got the whole, this is nothing to do with football. He's got like the no eyebrows thing. I don't know if he shaves them or if that's like a condition, but that's different.
It's probably a condition. I don't want to dive into that too much, but if he needs prayers, shout out to Josh Dobbs. That is impact players for the week. Let's move into just a fantastic week 4 ahead. We've got 5 marquee matchups to preview. The first one, you always got to preview the London game. Thankfully, we live on the East Coast. I know for the West Coast, this can be tough because it's like 6 a.m. or whatever it is. But waking up at, I think it's like, I'm up earlier, but 9:30, this game usually comes on. The Jags always play. It's basically a home game for them. The Jags are -3 against the Falcons. Over-under is 43.5. Nick, what are your thoughts on this game?
So we've got the Jacksonville Jaguars, who have just looked atrocious this year. I thought I was high on them coming into the season. We'll see if they can pick it up here in London. I think the Falcons have a good game plan to travel, aka run the ball, and so we'll see how it goes on. Low total game. I may or may not have bet this game.
Okay, I like to hear it. And if you remember, the Jags are 1-2. They lost to the Texans, lost to the Chiefs, and they almost lost to the Colts week 1. If they were 0-3, I mean, this is a team that was the biggest favorite in any division in football coming into the season. So really, really bad start. They got to get right this week, and the Falcons are not an easy team to get right against. Like you said, their game travels. They run the football. They play solid defense. And right now, I'll tell you, 78% of the money is on Jacksonville, -3.
I like that.
They're still public, even how shitty they've been. So I expect, if I was going to lean one way, I would probably actually lean towards the Falcons, but I'm not on this game, so I'll stay off of that. I think it's a really tough game to bet. And the over-under 43.5, it's right in the middle of kind of the average. So should be a good game to wake up to. At least there's talent all over the field.
Yeah, so it's below that key number of 44. So that we'll see how that plays out over the next couple of days. I'm just trying to check the injury report. It doesn't look like Falcons have that many injured players. They've got limited practice Cordell Patterson, Calais Campbell, DMP we'll see, and Josh Ali, who's a random wide receiver we're not going to see. So, yeah, I think it's looking rough for the Jacksonville Jaguars and London Blokes.
Yeah, and still everyone's betting them. So we'll see how that game plays out. All right, matchup of the week. Miami Dolphins 3-0, traveling to Buffalo. This is key, though. It's key for us to get to play in Buffalo this part of the year, so we're not playing in the snow like we did last year. Everyone keeps saying, is the Dolphins offense going to work when it's cold? Well, we got 5 of the last 6 games at home, and we don't have to go to Buffalo in December, so that's a good thing. Dolphins at Bills. Bills are -2.5. Over-under is actually jumped since I updated this info earlier. It's 53.5. And I think Nick's do you have a stat for us here?
Yeah, so the Bills have the 3rd best passing defense so far on the year. which is going to have to come to a head against the Miami Dolphins this week.
Well, something's going to have
allowed,
to come to a head.
Yeah, this is kind of like one of those winner goes home, winner takes a division type games. They've only allowed 253 yards per game. That's in general. That's like passing, rushing. So their defense is looking stout.
Wow.
Our offense is looking stout. So we'll see what strength on strength, what gives.
Yeah, this is going to be a great game. Two incredible offenses, two solid defenses, a great atmosphere. Buffalo is an awesome place. I haven't been for a game, but they have real fans. You know what I mean? So this is going to be the game of the week for sure. Like you said, you would have loved to see it flex to a primetime spot. We get Jalen Waddle back. We got the Mostert, Devon, not A-Chain anymore. It's A-Chan. Okay, he wants to be called A-Chan, so we're going to respect his wishes. But this game is going to be incredible. It's tough, and I see the Dolphins are. I think it was actually we were getting 3, and then it's been jumping back and forth between 2.5 and 3. My guess is the public will be on the Dolphins. Let's see what it is right now. I have it pulled up.
When it was a 2.5, it was an expensive 2.5. It's a 3, right? It's an expensive 3 right now.
It's an expensive 3 now. Oh, actually, 50-50 on the bets in this game, but 80% of the money so far on Buffalo. So, it's going to be a tough game to bet. I don't bet on my team, but if I was, I wouldn't have no clue what to do here because we could come out and dice them up, or they could come out and keep playing solid defense. Josh Allen, how do you stop that guy?
He's owned us for the last couple of years.
Yeah,
we'll see what Chubb got to say about that.
We split last year, and then they beat us in the playoffs without Tua. But this is just a fantastic game. Popcorn ready. Got to be, obviously, on one of your screens. If you only have one screen, you're kind of screwed this week because I couldn't imagine not having this game on a TV. But great game. Both
of these teams probably are Super Bowl contenders. Preseason, the Bills were one of the favorites going in. So, Dolphins were some people's favorite, but now people are starting to wake up to see what it is. And I want to see this week, are the Dolphins for real? That's kind of what it's going to show me. We seem for real, but hey, go against a divisional rival that's a contender for the Super Bowl and see how you come out.
Couldn't agree more. Next game on the card, Ravens at Browns. Browns are -2.5 at home. Over-under's 41. We did kind of talk about this game earlier. The Browns look absolutely unstoppable. The defense is number 1 in the league, I'm pretty sure right now. Offense, Deshaun's looking good. But it's these divisional games, these AFC North games, always whoever you think's going to win, I always feel like the other team wins, and they're always within a score. So what are you leaning one way? Do you have this game in one of your bets, or what are you thinking for this, Nick?
No, I don't have this game in one of my bets. I may later on add the Ravens as a teaser because it's a divisional game. The total's not very high. Both these teams like to run the ball, so we shouldn't see too many big flashy plays except for maybe out of Zay Flowers. The Ravens were supposed to crush the Browns 3 weeks ago. We wouldn't even really been talking about this game. The spread probably would have been +6 Browns or something like that, even at home. But now we're here and we're looking at -2.5 for the Browns. I lean Ravens on this game. But the thing about it, the Ravens love to run the ball, and the Browns are good at stopping the run. So it's one of those strength on strength things, and we'll see how it goes.
Just like the last game we talked about, I would lean Ravens as well, but should be a great divisional game. Next up on the card, another divisional matchup: the 2-1 Washington Commanders travel to the 3-0 Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are -8 at home. Over-under's 48.5. And the Eagles haven't looked as good as they have last year, but they're still 3-0, and they're still rolling teams. And the Commanders, Sam Howell, I don't know if he's solid or if he's the worst quarterback ever and will be out of the league. B-Money, Brendan O'Neill in the building. Shout out, brother. Appreciate you joining us. Like I said, over under 44.5. The public so far is on Philadelphia. This is one of those favorites that's going to be teased with a lot of teams. I think I have it in a teaser preview. The teaser god, has it in a teaser. So it does scare me, but I'm confident in Philly. Remember, I'm going to keep bringing it up. My preseason Super Bowl bet was plus 880 or plus 900 for the Eagles. It's down to 700. They're still right at the top there. Do you have? I mean, don't tell us fully, but I'm guessing you have this game coming up.
Yeah, I've got this game in a teaser. I think 8 points is a little too much in a divisional matchup, even though the Commanders aren't the best team in the world. I still couldn't bet the Philly Eagles -8 right now against just about anyone, maybe the Cardinals.
And there is a little, I don't know if it's revenge or what, but if you remember last year, the Commanders ruined Philadelphia's perfect season. I think it was 10-0 or 11-0, and they beat them on a Monday night, and they were like 11 or 12-point favorites. So it does scare me. Laying the 8 scares me. Teasing it, which preview we're going to do, scares me as well, but it's too good. They're too good of a team. I got to do it. And last marquee matchup before we get into the picks, the New England Patriots travel to the Dallas Cowboys, who just lost to Arizona, who we thought was tanking. The Cowboys are -6.5. The over-under is 43. And is this a get-right spot, like you said last week, for the Cowboys?
The Pats defense looks good. The Pats defense looks good.
That rookie corner, Christian Gonzalez, looks solid.
Yeah, he could be rookie of the year, honestly. I wonder what the numbers are on that. I can't get it out of PPH book, but maybe offshore, which I'm locked out of right now.
I think right now for defensive rookie of the year, Jalen Carter is the favorite, the lineman from Philadelphia. Yeah.
Okay.
He's incredible.
I wouldn't mind taking a hack with Gonzalez, honestly.
Okay.
The Cowboys, something about that team, they just seem to shit the bed in big moments. And I think this season crumbles again for them, even though were they Super Bowl pick for a lot of people this year?
They were up there. I think San Fran, Philly were the 2, and then Dallas was 3rd in the NFC. But a lot of people like Dallas. I really think, and I had them in Survivor last week, and when Trayvon Diggs tore his ACL, I was like, oh, maybe I changed this. Maybe this is a bad omen, and I didn't change it. But you hate to lose your number one corner. I do think they match up perfectly. Their defense does against the Pats, though. Great pass rush. They stop the run. Mac Jones, they got no receivers. Mac Jones sucks. And sure. I do think this defense will take control of this game. And I think the offense, I don't know why I always think the Cowboys play the Patriots well. I can remember some monster CeeDee Lamb games against them. I can remember a walk-off touchdown a few years ago with CeeDee Lamb. So I do think the Cowboys are, and we'll get into it in a minute, but I do lean the Cowboys in this game.
If I had to bet it, I'd probably bet the under. 2 solid defenses.
Okay.
I'd probably bet the under.
I like that. All right. Marquee matchups in the book. And guess what? It's time. Brandon Aubrey last week. He's 2-1 on the season. Bring in the prop man, the prop guy, the prop god, Mr. Beedick. How are you feeling, brother?
I'm feeling great after last week. Brandon Aubrey came through for us big, so I'm happy to be back for another week.
Let's get it.
Did that prop hit in the first half, if I recall correctly?
I think it hit early third quarter, if I remember.
Okay.
But I had a lot of kicking props last week, trying to keep track.
You're correct.
I feel like we've really found something with this over 1.5 field goals bet, and my props this week will reflect that.
Yep, you had Aubrey had 3 field goals last week. Easy winner from the prop god. We appreciate you. We needed it last week. So, without further ado, let's hop in. Give us what you got, brother.
Nice. We've got 4 this week, actually. Okay,
I'm going big.
Yeah.
Let's
I know
go.
we're stepping it up. So we're gonna stick to 2 kicking props again. So we're going back to Brandon Aubrey over 1.5 field goals. That's okay. The Cowboys kicker for anyone who wasn't listening last week. And we're going to take Jake Moody, the Niners kicker, over 1.5 field goals. So these guys are 19 for 19 on the year. 2 rookies that are the top 2 kickers in football. And let's go through our little checklist. Is it good weather? Well, we're in a dome in Dallas. I've checked the weather in San Francisco. It's clear, 6-mile-per-hour winds. It's supposed to be a beautiful day.
It's always beautiful in the Bay. It's always beautiful in the Bay.
Yeah, it's especially beautiful on Sunday, though. So this is great. We've got accurate kickers is item number 2, 19 for 19. We've got good offenses with the Cowboys and the Niners. And we've got teams that are not going for it on 4th down and will kick. And we don't expect that out of these two teams. So I'm going to say it one more time. Brandon Aubrey over 1.5 field goals and Jake Moody over 1.5 field goals. Those are our
I wouldn't have had that Jake Moody one. If you guys had asked me what team is he on, I would have missed that one. I would have missed that one.
He was the Michigan kicker last year. I think he was like the
Michigan
top
guy.
College kicker.
Okay.
But I know all the listeners were watching Aubrey last week. How nice is this guy's stroke out there? It's just effortless, you know. It looks like a golf swing or something. So
Craig made it in. Watch the prop that.
Oh, here we go. Shout out to Craig. Appreciate you.
Felix
salute. Okay, so you got 2 kicking. You said you had 4 picks. Are they all kicking this week, or did you dip your toe in something else?
Yeah, we're dipping our toes with something else. So
all right.
Prop number 3 here. Adam Thielen, receiver for the Carolina Panthers, over 4.5 catches. Okay.
I was so mad I dropped him. I dropped him like week 1 of the fantasy football season. Oh my God. And he's going off, bro.
Yeah. Both of you guys are correct. We have a revenge game. He's playing the Minnesota Vikings, who, you know, were his team for years and years. They discovered this guy at like a tryout. Crazy story, but that's who he's playing. The Vikings defense has given up the most yards and the most catches to receivers of any team all year.
Oof.
This looks great. And then in the last 2 weeks, he's got 18 catches on 23 targets. So
beautiful. This is a lock.
Yeah. Over 4.5 receptions for Adam Thielen. That's prop
awesome.
3.
Beautiful.
And and our last one here, I know Bean is gonna hate this one here, but I have to do it. Yeah, it's Brock Purdy over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Yeah,
I don't hate.
I don't know about this one, prop man.
Yeah. Bean is I'm not gonna say he's a Purdy hater, but he's not a Purdy believer. You know, that's true. That's for sure. So,
but I mean, rewind like 2 weeks. Bean was like, I think he was on the Purdy bandwagon like for the first week of football, and then he just
what I said was maybe Purdy's good and Kenny Pickett sucks. I think that's what I said. There you go. Felix is my guy here. Purdy is overrated. We can agree with that. And well, let me let you finish. I don't want to cut you off. Finish. I know you got some stats for us. Fire them off.
Yeah.
He throws 2 touchdowns every game. He throws them 1 yard down the field, and they run 50 yards. Keep going.
Yep, exactly. He's throwing them to Christian McCaffrey. He's throwing them to Deebo Samuel on swing passes. Like, he's not launching it down the field, but he's getting passing touchdowns. So I love to always look at these quarterback touchdown props. If I ever see a quarterback over 1.5, I'll usually look at it, but the payouts for taking over are just not great. Usually over 1.5 touchdowns for someone like Jared Goff, it's going to be like minus 200. You bet $100, you win 50. For this one, it's minus 130. Okay. So you bet $130 to win 100, which is really good for these props. Okay, so that caught my attention. Brock Purdy has started 9 regular season games in the NFL. Okay, he's
Not
thrown
very
for 2 or more touchdowns in 8 out of the 9 games. That was the only stat I needed for this one.
And he's never lost. He's won all those 9 games too.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, he's never lost.
Yeah,
he's never lost a game he started and finished. The only game he lost was that Eagles NFC Championship where they ruined his arm.
Yep. I'm a huge Purdy believer. So this isn't a prop I've taken before, but I feel great about it. I'm starting him in a couple fantasy leagues this week. And once again, Brock Purdy over 1.5 passing touchdowns, minus 130 on your books. That's our 4 props.
Quick question before you go, because I've been looking at the reports. It looks like Debo may miss the game. If Debo doesn't play, does it matter to you, or is he just going to hit Kittle and Ayuk and everyone else?
It doesn't.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter
hold on.
to me.
Exactly what Craig said. If Prop God likes it, I love it. He's right. Who am I to say? I'm like 3-6 on the year. You're crushing everything. So it doesn't matter. If Debo sits, they've got plenty of people, right?
Yeah. And we should always be questioning each other's picks, right? Like that's why we're here. I hope if you're wondering about a question like that, you should ask away and we're all getting better, you know?
Well, I'll tell you this: if you go 4-0 this week, we won't question your picks. We will just salute and follow your lead.
Yeah. I've said it every week. I can't guarantee winners, but I can guarantee that I'm going to give you guys good reasoning and good stats behind the picks. And and most of the time we hope they're going to hit.
Oh, hey, well, before we let you go, we appreciate you, brother. Thanks for being here. I'm going to let you take this, and then I'll because I'm sure Hunter needs an answer in like 3 minutes. Sam Laporta this week or Evan Ingram?
Yeah, I'm on Laporta. I love Laporta. He's not a prop pick this week because he's on Thursday night and we can't get it in. But I also like Musgrave if he's available tonight. The Lions give up the second most points to tight ends. So Luke Musgrave is the Packers tight end tonight. Isn't a bad spot start.
All right. We appreciate you. We'll see you next week. Jake Moody, Brandon Aubrey, Brock Purdy, and Adam Thielen. We're counting on those 4. Any final words? Or are you good to go?
Yeah. In the Adam Thielen prop, we don't care if it's Bryce Young. We don't care if it's Andy Dalton either. It's either quarterback we're fine with. So
Andy Dalton's actually one of the best backups in the league.
He's not playing. Bryce Young's back, so that's going to hit easily.
Okay.
All right, prop guy, prop god. We appreciate you, Beedick. We'll see you next week.
Love you guys.
Peace.
Love you. All right. Now, let's get to the pod picks of the week, the moment we've all been waiting for. Sam Laporta. Hunter. I mean, honestly, I like Laporta and Evan Ingram. They're both top 6, top 7 plays this week, but the Falcons have a solid defense. And isn't it always fun to have someone on Thursday night? This should be a fun game tonight. Laporta's been red hot. I think you got to roll Laporta. All right, let's get into it. This is the week. I have gone back to my roots, and I'm really I think I'm gonna go 4-0 this week as well. So, I've gone back to looking at the percentage of the money. Where's it going? What picks make me kind of want to throw up, but I kind of like them? This is where we're going. First pick of the week. I don't care how bad the Chicago Bears are. Listen to me. I don't care how bad they are. The Broncos cannot be 3.5-point favorites on the road against anyone. They can't.
Okay, I can hear that.
They absolutely cannot. And guess what? 75% of the bets, 75% of the money is on Denver right now. Everyone's betting them. Fuck that. Justin Fields is going to have his best game of the year. I don't care if he screwed me last week or 2 weeks ago. I got to take the points in the Bears. It's just the public's on Denver. Denver sucks. Chicago sucks. They're at home, though. Give me the 3.5. This one, I just feel like out of principle, you can't lay 3.5 with Russ on the road. And the Bears, yeah, they suck, but Denver sucks too. They're probably the last two teams in the power rankings right now. So give me the field goal plus the half a point. If they lose the game, hopefully they lose it by 3, but I think they can easily win this one. And we're going against the people, which I love. So Bears plus 3.5 is my first pick.
I think it's a big game for DJ Moore this week against that horrible passing defense.
I don't know about that. If Surtain may follow him, if Surtain is shadowing him, I like Roschon Johnson out of the backfield and Khalil Herbert. I like Kmet to have a decent game. So Bears plus 3.5.
I like it. So my first pick is a teaser. Wouldn't you like to know? I took KC.
Shocker.
And I took KC against one of the worst teams in the league and brought them down by 6 points. The Jets, good defense, but they've been scoring they haven't really been able to even score the ball. So I think when you play a team like KC, you have to be able to put up 24, 21 points. If you can't do that, you're shot. So I took KC, teased them down, and I took Philly down to 2.5 against the Washington Commanders. That's a low total game at 43. And Philadelphia Eagles, a juggernaut, even though they haven't really looked like they're clicking the way they did last year, they're still a juggernaut. And I think over the next few weeks, we're going to see them round into form as long as the injury bug doesn't get them. So KC and Philly 6-point teaser. That's pick number 1.
Got it. All right. Next pick for me, Cowboys minus 6.5 against the Patriots. I alluded to this earlier. I think they match up great with them. Patriots do have a good defense. They've been playing well, but Dak always seems to dice them up. The Cowboys defense matches up perfectly against a team right now that doesn't have great receivers. So I really like the Cowboys in the spot. Again, I'm going to go back to the theme I just talked about. The public is all over the Patriots and the points. 73% of the money right now is on the Patriots. I think the Cowboys are going to smash them. They win by more than 7. Let's see. What do we get? Backpack volume. Chicken Burrito got picks. Who's the burrito?
Backpack Val. I used to use burrito as my name in video games in middle school. Yeah,
I do remember that. Yeah, so I really like the Cowboys in the spot. Again, going against the public. Again, at home against a team that sucks, the Patriots, at least an offense that sucks. So Cowboys laying the points is my second pick. Go ahead, Nick.
Did you take them? Sorry, did you take them in a teaser? Or you took them minus 6.5. The Cowboys.
I'm laying the 6.5.
Straight up. Okay, I like it.
Straight up.
I like it. All right. So for my second pick, I haven't had a straight up pick all year. So I'm going to go get it now. And we're taking the 9:30 a.m. game in London. We've got the booty hole Jags against the Atlanta Falcons. It's sort of a home game for the Jags because they're in London like every year. They know how to travel to this spot. It's nothing new for them. But like we said earlier, the Falcons game is traveling well. On top of that, the Falcons, I thought they were going to be shit this year. The Falcons have surprised me, I'm not going to lie, and they're looking like a good team and good offense. And their defense is solid.
Can you imagine if they just put Taylor Heineke in the game and they actually had a quarterback who could throw the ball on top of all this other great stuff they've got going on?
Right.
You know what I mean? Here's a crazy thing that just came to my mind. If they bench Desmond Ridder, I think Kyle Pitts may actually have some value in fantasy football, which is something I would never say because they don't throw the ball. But if Heineke gets in, he could actually bring some value to those targets. So you got Atlanta. They're getting how many points? 3 points?
They're getting 3 points. So that was an easy pick for me. Like you said before, how whoever plays the Chicago Bears shouldn't be Denver. They shouldn't be 3.5-point favorites against anyone. I don't think the Jags deserve to be a 3-point favorite against, especially all the way in Wembley Stadium
team.
Against a NFL team.
I'm not going to lie. I've got a lot of stock in the Jags with fantasy players, so hopefully they do well. But it's tough not to take those 3 points, so I can't blame you.
I took T. Law for my fantasy quarterback. I actually drafted the guy, and he's got freaking 8 points all year or something stupid. He's not playing football.
He had a good week 1. Yeah, he had a good week 1, bad week 2 and 3. or not even a good week 1, a decent week 1. I have them in a league too. I'm rolling them out again. Fuck it. So, all right, I got the Bears and the Cowboys. I have one more straight up and one tease. How many more do you have? Or are you done?
That's it this week. We'll check back with us later. Check the Instagram. I'll probably add some picks because there's a decent amount of teaser legs that I just want to see some injury reports and see how things shake out.
Got it. I am going to, again, I'm going back to the well, going against the public here. You've got 65% of the bets, 64% of the money on Minnesota. Give me the Carolina Panthers, even though they fucked me week 1. Give me the Panthers plus 4.5 at home. I think the best thing that happened for Bryce was to take a step back, see the game from the sideline, let Andy Dalton come in, show him how to dice him up. The receivers, DJ Chark looked better. Adam Thielen's getting his groove. They're finally getting some separation. Miles Sanders looked good last game. I think they're probably gonna lose by a field goal, but they could win this game. So I need the 4.5 against the Vikings, who always play a 1-score game. It feels like that Vikings defense is not good. If Bryce Young is if he is who I think he is, he should have a decent game this week against the Vikings at home. So I'll take the Panthers plus 4.5. My last bet of the week is a teaser with the Ravens and the Eagles. Ravens down up to plus 8.5. These games are always 1 score in the AFC North. 8.5 is too many points not to take for the Ravens. The Eagles down to minus 2.5. So that's a Ravens-Eagles tease. I'll repeat all our bets for everyone. I've got the Bears plus 3.5. Cowboys minus 6.5, Panthers plus 4.5, and a teaser with the Ravens and the Eagles. Nick has the teaser king, a KC and Philly 6-point teaser, and he's got the Falcons plus 3 in Jacksonville. Let's round out the show with our fantasy corner. Hit me with the greatest segment known to man.
Yeah, so
besides the prop god, actually.
True. We bumped it down. So we've got questions for the Dean this week. We had the prop god answer a question from the Dean this week.
He did. Laporta, baby. Porta potty.
So my first question this week is, for who would you rather have, Kyren Williams or Josh Jacobs? Josh Jacobs obviously is probably the better talent overall. Clearly had a great year last year. Hasn't looked so hot this year.
Yeah, this question would seem laughable 3 weeks ago, but right. And I almost laughed when you said it, but I don't think it's that crazy. The thing with Kyren Williams is the only guy there. He's playing 99% of the snaps. They're not even giving snaps to anyone else. On the other hand, I think he kind of sucks. I don't think he's very good. That's I think the problem. So I'm gonna have to say Jacobs because he sat out the training camp. Maybe it's taken him a few weeks to get back. God, it's a tough one though. I'd say like Jacobs, but slightly, very slightly.
Okay. Another running back question we got for this week. Who would you rather have, Alvin Kamara?
This week or the season?
Ooh. Okay. So I'm gonna answer both. I'm gonna ask first for this week and then second for the season. Alvin Kamara or DeAndre Swift?
Alvin Kamara, and the reason why is because. Alvin Kamara for the season. For this week, Washington, Tampa Bay. I'll take Swift for this week. The thing with Swift is he looks incredible. He looks so explosive. But right. I do think their goal always in Philly is to have some sort of committee. I think they're going to want Gainwell in there. They're going to want Boston Scott to steal some points. So Kamara's got fresh legs. He's coming back. I think it's a tough matchup with Tampa Bay this week. If it was full PPR, I think it's probably pretty close this week, probably a toss-up, but half PPR like we normally talk about. I'll lean Swift this week, Kamara for the season. And the thing with Swift is what usually he is injury prone. So that's why I would lean Kamara for the season. Kamara's usually healthy, and Swift, remember his career with the Lions. Every time he's so explosive, he just ends up hurting himself. It's like it's a curse.
Yeah, not the biggest guy either. My next question, this would have been so laughable at the beginning of the year. One of these guys went undrafted, but just the performance of the other player has just brought me to ask this question. Who would you rather have? I will say this weekend season, I want both on this. Geno Smith or Trevor Lawrence?
Trevor Lawrence, both. Yeah, okay. I just got to stick with the talent. Remember, they closed the year so hot. He's potential to be a top quarterback. Geno Smith's he's got a revenge game this week going to the Giants, but I think it's a tough matchup. The Giants usually play some solid defense. Trevor Lawrence against Atlanta. I know that's your pick, but I feel like this would be a case where you picked up Trevor or you drafted Trevor, you picked up Geno. I'd stay Trevor for now. But the thing with quarterback is, who knows? A couple weeks from now, it could be Geno, but if I had to gun to head, I would take Trevor for both.
Nice. That closed out questions for the Dean.
Beautiful. All right. Well, let's round it out with FanDuel. I beat you by about 30 points last week. 2 wins for me this year, 1 win for you. I'll start with mine. Okay. And
yeah.
I got a funky team this week. I thought it was a pretty tough week for FanDuel, but I do really like my team. So I'll start mine. I've got Josh Allen at quarterback. I spent up for the most expensive quarterback I could go with. I know, boo, but whatever. I got him in 3 fantasy leagues. I think even if the Dolphins win, I think he puts up huge numbers. He was 9,000. My running backs, I spent up for the most expensive running back. I think McCaffrey is going to have an absolute monster game against Arizona. Debo's hurt. Ayuk's coming back, but still banged up. I think he has a monster game. And then my running back, this is kind of just like a dart throw. He was pretty cheap, 6,000 or 6,100. I think Jaylen Warren, this is the week he takes over the job and has some explosive plays against Houston. So Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey, Jaylen Warren. You want to start yours?
Yeah, so I took Joe Burrow against one of the wackest defenses in the league, and definitely one of the wackest passing defenses in the league. I took Christian McCaffrey just like you. I think he has a big week. I think that was a no-brainer right there. And then I took James Cook against the Miami defense, who hasn't been good against the run, and James Cook's been going off. So I took James Cook. So again,
okay. So we have McCaffrey. Yeah, we both have McCaffrey. Yeah. Okay. Last week we both had Trevor Lawrence, and that was bad.
How did that fucking work out?
Oh, that was bad. All right, so let me just read the rest of mine, and then I'll let you finish it off. Okay. I got AJ Brown at 7,700. He's gonna have a big game. I got Jalen Waddle coming back. You got to have people in this Dolphins Bills game. I think you have to. So I got Jalen Waddle, and then I got Gabe Davis to stack with Josh Allen. I think he has a big play in this game. My tight end is a cheap one, but I got Cole Kmet. I think Cole Kmet has 4 for 40 and hopefully a score. And then I got Quentin Johnston in the flex, super cheap. Obviously, I spent a lot of money on the running back and quarterback and a couple receivers. So I got Quentin Johnston. I think he does end up having a solid rest of the season. And my defense is super cheap. It's the Carolina Panthers against Kirk Cousins. Hopefully, Cousins throws us a couple picks. So my lineup is Josh Allen, McCaffrey, Jaylen Warren, AJ Brown, Jalen Waddle, Gabe Davis, Cole Kmet, Quentin Johnston, and the Carolina D.
All right, word. So I'll finish off my team. I took Devontae Adams against one of the worst passing defenses in the Los Angeles Chargers. DJ Moore against another poor passing defense in Denver. And then I took, going the other way, Cortland Sutton against a poor passing defense in Chicago. Rounding out the tight end and flex, I took Logan Thomas. He's supposed to be coming back this week, even though he hasn't officially cleared concussion protocol. He did put in a limited practice already, so I'm optimistic at least on him. And then I have Javonte Williams and the Cincinnati Bengals D against the Tennessee Titans. So from the top, I took Joe Burrow, Christian McCaffrey, James Cook, Devontae Adams, DJ Moore, Cortland Sutton, Logan Thomas, Javonte Williams, and the Cincinnati Bengals D.
Beautiful. Those are the FanDuels. We appreciate everyone who hopped on the live, commented, interacted. Bedick, the prop guy, was here. Big week ahead, boys. This is a big week. Nick, you got anything else, or are we good to go?
No, that was it. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, follow us on Instagram for some more picks later on in the week.
All right. Appreciate you all. Peace.
Peace out.